Excuse me, sir, there is just one more thing. Sorry, that Columbo reference was just too good to pass up considering the thumbnail for this video. Welcome back to Blade and Brush. I'm Mike Your Wet Shaving, back with another video, and this time an experiment because I was inspired by this from a video done by another wet shaver who has not posted in quite some time. I think he's either retired or I hope not. I hope he's retired and not something worse happening. But his name was Glenn, and he once shaved with a soap, originally a bath soap from Swedish Dream. That was a sea salt scent. And the box had said also good for shaving, so we did a video where he said, you know, hey, let's try this out and see if it actually works for shaving, and he did it. And I tried it myself. It worked fairly decently, not as well as soap that is actually designed exclusively for shaving, but it did work. But recently I started using Dr. Squatch's Pine Tar bath soap. I brought this right out of the shower. And I was thinking, you know what? How about I try it with that and see what happens? So just in case things go south and it doesn't work, I do have my Gillette shave cream. But I wanted to go ahead and give this a try, see what happens. Now I'll link to the video that I was referencing after I uploaded this and got into my computer. All right, Phoenix Cube is applied. Let's massage it in. Yeah, I had gotten this soap a while back when I still had some money to stock up on toiletries. I know I'd be running out at some point of money and toiletries, and I figured, what the hell, not stock up while I can. Alright, so I've got everything ready, so I'm going to try and load my brush up. This is the Sterling Boar brush, by the way. I've got some water at the bottom of my shave bowl. Alright, so here it is loaded up. Now let's see if we can whip up a lather from this. We're getting a little bit. Probably need a bit more water and to load a little bit more on the brush. Oi. But yeah, as you can see, I'm getting a good lather on the brush anyway. Now, why did I get pine tar soap? Well, I do have psoriasis. And it is in and around my ears. And when I'm not using psoriasis shampoo, it can form on my scalp as well. It's worse on my lower legs below the knee and also on my right elbow. Sometimes it'll form around my mouth, around the chin area as well. But I mitigate that through shaving because that does exfoliation and that helps keep things going. But also sun exposure helps as well. All right, now we're getting some lather here. But yeah, Glenn Healy and Nick Shaves, both popular YouTubers who did shaving videos and who both kind of dropped off the face of the earth without any explanation. Sinatra Lennon at least gave a retirement announcement saying that he's no longer going to be doing shave videos. I guess he's taken it as far as he can, you know. Stuff happens, life happens. But Glenn was already up in years when he was at the height of his popularity. And probably not in the best of health either. So when guys like him disappear without any announcement, you know, that for me is a cause of concern. Especially if you're not part of his inner circle of friends and you don't get any info on what happened to him. Yeah, so if I ever disappear from the internet, know that I will give an announcement if I can. If I don't, then assume something happened to me. All right, let's see if this works. All right, so far so good. I've got my Astro Superior stainless in here, Razor Rock coat. All right, so far so good. Does go on a bit thin, but that shouldn't be surprising. It was designed for washing, not for shaving. All right, so far not bad. Not great, but not bad. So yeah, I had my job interview the other night. It went well. I've got a second interview with the company scheduled for Monday night, my time at 11 p.m. But that's 11 a.m. Tuesday, where the hiring managers are. So, yes, they are all the way over in Asia. But they do have offices here in the United States. But hiring is apparently done out of the Asian office. So, but yeah, the company sells electronic devices, mostly like chargers and USB docks and stuff like that. You know, the kind of things that people who are already hooked up to the internet and uh, have a number of devices they need to keep charged. You know, useful little gadgets like that. All right, so pass number 2 coming up. I'm just trying to whip up the lather a little bit more in the bowl. So. Yeah, this kind of reminds me of the newer iterations of Williams Mug Shave Soap. You know, where the lather goes on thin and dissipates quickly. That's what this reminds me of. Classic Williams doesn't have that problem. But then some years ago, the company changed the formulation. So the soap still needs a lot of water to get going, but the lather really isn't great. In fact, you're probably better off using vintage Williams. As opposed to the newer stuff. But yeah, if I get hired for this job, that's a good thing. Because one, it's a remote position, which means I can work from anywhere. And the pay is well enough that I can afford to save up and move out relatively quickly. It's basically as long as I maintain a stable internet connection and have no distractions. Then I can start thinking about Looking at other locations where the cost of living isn't nearly so high. Yeah, this is probably going to go down as one of the less successful experiments in shaving. I mean, I'm not cutting myself up, thank goodness, but still. This falls under the category of would not recommend. The Swedish Dream Soap at least generated a better lather. Yeah, you can see how I have to reapply. Yeah, maybe a little bit touch up here, but otherwise, the area doesn't feel nearly as rough as it normally does. Which is surprising. Yeah, that was pleasantly surprising. Like I said, I would not recommend doing this, not unless you were in a situation where you found out the hard way that you would run out of shave foam or whatever and had nothing else to generate a lather, you could probably do it, but why if you had a choice? So that concludes this experiment. You know, say, can you shave with this? Yes. Would I shave with it again? No. But hey, you never know unless you try, right? And in a way, that's what life is all about, you know? You don't know if something will succeed or fail unless you try. Of course, by then it's too late. A great many things were accomplished through trial and error. Not everyone survived that process, but those who did and lived to tell the tale, they were the ones who contributed more to science. The lather really didn't stay in the bristles here, but I'm not leaving anything to chance. Take care of your tools and they'll take care of you. That's what I always say. All right, so let's get some Pinot Clubman Special Reserve. All right, and that is our shave video experiment for today. Links below for the products that are used in this shave. And like, share, comment, subscribe, and do all the YouTube things. Until next time, this is Mike for Blade and Brush, signing off.